Hello, Marvel Legends. You know, I should really change that opening when I'm not doing anything Marvel Legends related. Something a Neca pun. Hello, necrophiliacs. No, that's not going to catch on. Or maybe it will. Hello, necrophiliacs. Wow, we kind of put the cat amongst the pigeons in that last video, didn't we? Oh boy. Yeah, I knew it was going to be kind of controversial because no one likes hearing, something that you love being kind of bashed by someone, especially some schmuck on the internet. And what the hell does he even know? And to be honest, I get it. I really, really get it because you can see I love Neca. These are my favourite figures and I've never had a problem with them. And the big debate from the last video was either people saying, you're an idiot, those are clearly knockoff figures, no wonder they broke. And the other people were saying, you're an idiot, you treated Neca figures carelessly and you broke them. Either way, the general consensus where the Venn diagram meets is that I'm an idiot. So, thanks internet. But that was what was really amazing. It was completely like 50-50. If you look at my comment section, if you look at the Facebook groups where I kind of posted this discussion, everyone was like, it was either, those are so clearly knockoffs, you idiot. Of course it's not legit Neca. Who do you think you are calling them out for something that's not their fault? And the other ones were, of course this has happened. Neca breaks all the time. They're not knockoffs, they're legit Neca, and either you broke them because you're clumsy, or you should have known if you buy Neca that that's what's going to happen. And it was just really interesting. Funnily enough, Instagram was probably the most positive place where everyone was just like, oh man, I'm so sorry. So that sucks. Instagram were very caring. Facebook were very 50-50, and my YouTube comments were more supportive, except a couple of people were like, you're just scamming Neca, you're just trying to rip off consumers, I'm leaving and unsubscribing and never coming back. I was like, wow, okay. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. But this is the chance to make amends. This is the chance to go back. This is where we're going to see if Neca can redeem themselves in my eye. Okay? So this is one of the other parts of the bundle that I bought, and from different suppliers. Look, I have my concerns about Bebop and Rocksteady. The account, the seller on eBay, looked legit. They were an actual store. They weren't an individual. They had about 10,000 previous sales on their record and a 99.9% positive feedback. So, that looks pretty legit. However, I've made a claim through eBay, heard nothing from them. Made a claim from PayPal, heard nothing from them. So actually, that's a good thing. Because if they don't reply, then eBay and PayPal will just go, okay, you can have your money back. If the seller's not responding, then they obviously don't want it. So there you go. So I'm actually hoping that they don't reply, and then I'll just get my money back, and that'll be the end of that. Also, actually, Neca have replied to me on Instagram. I messaged them on Instagram. I sent them the picture of Rocksteady, and I was like, hey, little help here? And they said, hey, look, if we have the parts available. I don't know what they mean by parts. It's a figure, But they said it might have been an automated thing. I don't know. But they said if we have the parts available, we'll send them to you. And they said that they don't ship outside the US. So I have a good brother in the US who's willing to send on the parts, whatever that might be, if they have them, if they do it. But still, it's interesting. This has been really stressful for me, which I brought on myself by making it like a public thing. But I hate confrontation, and I hate thinking that people don't like me, which is really a bad quality to have when you post videos on the internet. But it kind of eats me up inside, and the people thought that I was like a scumbag who's trying to screw over eBay sellers or something. I'm like, no, I'm really not. Honestly, I care too much, clearly. But this is the chance for me to redeem the Neca love. I'm going to open the second box. I haven't opened. I've still got 2 more 2-packs and another arriving today that I haven't opened because I just got to do this systematically and be so careful. Looking at the box here, everything looks legit. I cannot see anything. The tape has not been opened and reopened. The tape is nice and flat. Because again, that's something that in hindsight, I saw on the Bebop and Rocksteady boxes. I always slice the tape. So I sliced it, but then when I looked closer, I could see the tape that was stuck down was like a little bit, it wasn't perfectly flat. It looked like, has someone unpeeled this and then peeled it back, like there's something was rotten in Denmark, basically. But either way, I'm going to slice this because this does look, it looks beautifully legit. Also, I've checked, Leonardo's eyes are dead center. There's no wonky eyes. Shredder looks legit. I've got my jacuzzi of warm water ready. So we're going to open these up and we're going to see if I can be won back over, you know, if I can, you know, get a little bit of faith back in mankind, in action figures, in Neca, because I have about 20. I got about 20 Neca figures, except for one broken piece on a Predator. I've had no other problems, mainly because I'm very careful. That's the thing. I am extremely careful. Oh God, I can imagine myself playing back that clip in black and white on my next video. I am extremely careful. I am extremely careful. Come on, admit it. Even if you didn't like what I said in that video, that intro was pretty good. Okay, we're going to slide them out of the box. And here they are, all nicely contained in their packaging. Now I'm going to do a little fast forward because I'm going to unsnip and unclip these from the packaging, and then we'll bathe our figures and then see if we can pose them. Okay, here is Shredder out of the box. You see his feet are completely knock-kneed, which I guess is just the way that, you know, he's positioned in the packaging, because everything else seems great. I'm not gonna try to reposition the legs at all. I've got a little tub of hot water down here, so I'm gonna pop his legs in there because I don't want to take any chances. Which is, you know, it kind of takes the fun out of opening action figures when it's like you're nervous. You're nervous to do anything with them, and that's kind of a shame. But there we go. I'm going to let Shredder sit in his bath, and I'm going to unclip Leo. And here is Leo out of the packaging, and he's a lot more sort of normally positioned, I guess. His legs aren't too skew whiff or anything, and again he looks great. His eyes line up, which is nice. I love the grimace in the face, but I'm gonna give him a little bath as well while we play around with Shredder carefully. So that's another thing I worry about. Like if you dip the figures in hot water, like, does water get into the cracks? Does that cause a problem? You know, people say that they use hair dryers, but I'm afraid of using a hair dryer in case I warp the plastic in any way. There's just so much to worry about. Okay, so here's Shredder, and I'm a little worried at how knock-kneed he is. Like his knees are really coming together. I don't know how much you can position to get around that. I'm just so worried about any kind of movement I'm going to do to him. It takes the fun out of it. Basically, it's such a shame because these look great, but I'm afraid to move his ankles to try and get him to stand right. I'm just afraid to move anything. I'm like that woman in Blair Witch who's like, I'm afraid to close my eyes. I'm afraid to open them. I'm afraid to move his elbows. You know, it's like defusing a bomb. You're just waiting for it to go off. So it's like, yeah, this figure's good, but there's not much fun being had here. I'm terrified. I'm terrified of breaking it. So, geez, there's Shredder. Ta-da! I guess I've positioned his legs, you know, so he can stand. But I'm just so nervous of doing anything with this figure now. I want to put him in a dynamic pose. I want to pop his hands off and, you know, put a sword in there, but. Jeez, like if you put me up to like a cardiovascular machine thing, not a cardiovascular, like a heart rate monitor or whatever, like it would be going, because this is tense. Toy collecting should not be tense. It should be a fun nostalgia trip, but instead, you know, it's just I'm second guessing everything I do. Okay, Leo's he seems to be moving okay, so that's reassuring. All right, okay. Everything is twisting how I think it should. So, do his arms pivot out, or do they just go up and down? Again, I'm worried, like, good old Marvel Legends, you can just move those guys around and wrench and, you know, it's not a problem. But here I'm so worried, I'm so cautious. So far, you know, nothing's come askew, but I'm going to have to really play around with, you know, how I position him. Because, of course, with these turtles, by their very nature, with their shells and their top heaviness, you got to really work hard to try and get a pose that's going to stick, that's going to last. So I think we're kind of getting there. Maybe I have to lean him forward a little bit more. There we go. So again, that's good. As you can see with Shredder, not the most dynamic in the world, but I'm afraid to do anything that's going to just mess it up. So let me pop out his weapons. Okay, the swords are out, and I could see while taking those out, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the camera, but which one is it? Yeah, one of the claws on Shredder's fisted hands. You can't really see it, the sun's getting in the way, but it's really bent. You know, I haven't even touched the packaging. The tape is still over it, but it's this one here. You probably can't. Yeah, can you see it right in the corner? It's really bent over. So I guess some more hot water, another little jacuzzi bath. But it's like, geez, it is like handling Fabergé eggs, you know? It's kind of crazy. Yeah, I really wanted this video to be like a counterpoint, like a complete opposite to my previous one. My previous one was like Neca or trash, angry rant. And I wanted this to be Neca or treasure, happy rant. And it's like, it's not quite there because these products seem completely legit, but I've got the fear now, you know? I really have, like, oh God, I'm afraid, like, to push the swords in the hands. There you go. Yeah, so I mean, again, he looks good. I wanna separate his arms a little bit, but I don't know if I can do, if I should do. No, like I think there is a hinge, but I'm not gonna try. I'm gonna have to look on YouTube videos to see where the articulation points. Yeah, there is an outward hinge, but okay, that's okay. And I'm gonna try it. I don't want to put too much. Okay. All right, there you go. I've widened his arms a little bit, but this isn't fun. This is so tense. And Shredder, like, he's still knock-kneed, and I want to play about with his legs. Got a little bit of a hip swivel. It's not a hip swivel, but hip articulation. But I just don't know. Like, I'm gonna play around with these more, but this is not the fun time that I want to have with action figures. Maybe it's just because I've been burnt by that previous set, but you know, maybe in time. I remember opening these guys was just unbridled joy because I didn't have the fear that I now have with these figures. So, you know, if I'd opened these ones first and then got these, I'd probably be like, ooh, don't break them. Whereas these, I'm like, no, I just had nothing but joy. I'm gonna play around with these more and just see what we can do. All right, guys, it took a lot of bathing and very, very careful manipulation. But, you know, we've got a more dynamic pose for Shredder. The hardest part, oh my goodness, the hardest part was getting his arms to raise up because those shoulder joints were so stiff. And of course, the only sort of pivot point you have is the bicep, you know, where the last figure broke. So you gotta be like, try not to hold the bicep, but like get up and under the arm, and like just, it's so tough. And I was bathing and rebathing and sinking, trying not to get his cape wet, but there you go. But at least that didn't dissolve in water like crepe paper. Could you just imagine? But no, like he is now in a more dynamic pose. If I angle his ankles just right, he will stand. I mean, he won't stand now because I'm trying to film, and you know, that's just the way that live video goes. But yeah, there you go. So he's standing, I've got him in a nice dynamic pose. I'm gonna sink his hands in more so I can maybe try and ease his hands out so I can put a sword in there. So you can move these around. These seem legit. I'm I am happy with these, bottom line. Like, they look beautiful. That was never a question. These look beautiful. These look beautiful. Neca figures look beautiful, but these do not lend themselves to an unboxing. You know, Marvel Legends, you can be like, let's get that plastic crack, and then play around with them. These, like, excuse me while I get my electron microscope and binoculars out so I can investigate the quality of them before I even open the packaging, but here we are. But that's the thing. Bottom line is, I love Neca. I love Neca figures, and I just hate the stress that they cause me, and the stress that debating them causes me. I'm gonna steer away from controversial videos because that's not why I do this. I do this for the joy and the love, not for not for the anger. So you can get ready for future episodes for more Legends Legacy reviews and top 10s and good fun stuff, because that's why we're here. But you know, I needed to put a bow on this, and I will do unboxings for the other Neca Turtle figures, but. Or maybe I'll do a wave review, actually. So once I've got them all out and posed, then we'll do a wave review. And maybe I'll go to a rave, who knows? But guys, in the meantime, thanks for watching the show. I hope you didn't find this as stressful as I did. But guys, stay tuned for the Data Blast coming up. Amazing photography that I found on YouTube. Check the names of the creators and go give them a follow because they do incredible work. And in the meantime, folks, what was I going to say? I don't even know. I've got a top 10 figures of the year coming up, so that's going to be before the end of the year. There's still time. Tomorrow is the deadline for your submissions for your favorite figure of the year. If you want to message me a video on Instagram saying, hi, this is my favorite figure of the year. That's all it needs to be, and I can include those in the video. That'll be kind of fun. I love kind of like getting the community together. And until next time, very, very carefully keep displaying model behavior.